Riri Williams is one of the most important characters in the newest generation of heroes in Marvel Comics. She's the one carrying on Tony Stark's legacy, much like Miles Morales carries Peter Parker's, or Kamala Khan carries Carol Danvers. Created by Brian Michael Bendis and Mike Deodato, she stands out for her brilliant ideas and endless resourcefulness, even in stressful situations. She first appeared in the Invincible Iron Man series in 2016 as a dedicated MIT student in Invincible Iron Man Volume 3, Number 7, March 2016. Riri is from South Shore, Chicago, where she grew up with her sister Sharon, their mother, and their stepfather. Riri's biological father died shortly before she was born. Her genius-level intelligence was noticed as early as she was 5 years old. Later, as an MIT student, Riri caught Tony Stark's attention when she decided to create her own iron armor. She first met Tony Stark when he showed up unannounced at her garage, where she was building the armor from stolen materials in Invincible Iron Man Volume 3, Number 12, August 2016. In Chicago, Riri was working with the garage door open. She had risked her scholarship at MIT after stealing equipment from the campus to finish the armor. Tony Stark suddenly appeared at the door and asked Riri to see her work. Impressed with how she reverse-engineered technology from the outdated Iron Man armor model 41, he invited Riri and her mother for dinner to talk about Riri's future, sponsoring Ironheart. Even before becoming a superhero and adopting the alias Ironheart, Riri was already fighting alongside the biggest heroes in the world. Using a second version of her original armor, she joined Iron Man's army during Civil War II in a battle against Captain Marvel's forces in 2016. And in the aftermath of the second superhero Civil War, Tony Stark fell into a coma in Civil War II, Number 6 to 8. With the help of a Tony Stark AI clone, Riri built a new and improved suit. She decided to fill the void Iron Man left and finally become Ironheart in Invincible Iron Man Volume 4, Number 1 to Number 3. Her first official adventures as Ironheart were some of the most exciting for a newcomer. Early on in Invincible Iron Man Volume 4, Number 4, February 2017, Riri teamed with Pepper Potts, who by then was already an iron-armored superhero herself as well. Rescue. Ironheart and Rescue defeated villains like Techno Golem and Biohack Ninja together. Ironheart was then sent to Latveria by S.H.I.E.L.D. to take down Doom's Prime Minister and war criminal Lucia von Bardas. She helped the nation have their first free elections in Invincible Iron Man Volume 4, Number 8 to 10. She was also invited early on to join the Champions team, whose members were Miles Morales, Nova, the past variant of Cyclops, Viv, Kamala Khan, and Amadeus Cho, the new Hulk. She was unsure at first, but eventually joined them following a few spontaneous team-ups against Hydra during the Secret Empire arc. Nadia Van Dyne, the Wasp, also joined the team with Riri in Champions Volume 2, Number 19, April 2018. Around the same time, Tony Stark woke up from his coma. As a member of the Champions, Riri had to face her social anxiety and introverted personality. She never had many friends and has a strong childhood trauma that we'll discuss in more depth in a couple of minutes. So, having to work alongside other young heroes wasn't easy for her, especially when one of them admitted to having romantic feelings towards her, which she didn't reciprocate. But the experience was positive for Riri, who came out of the team-up being able to interact with her peers much better. Whether alone, teaming up with other young heroes, or supporting Iron Man, Riri Williams continues to impress her friends and defeat villains. Riri has no superpowers. Her main advantage is her genius-level intelligence. She has displayed a genius intellect since childhood, and was only 15 years old when she got accepted into MIT. Riri learned by herself at a young age how to reverse engineer and create technology from scratch, despite having limited resources. With the Ironheart armor, Riri can fly, achieve superhuman strength, and use repulsor blasts and other built-in gadgets. The armor also protects her body from attacks up to superhuman levels of impact. Her current iron armor in Marvel Comics is the Ironheart Armor Model 3. Compared to the Model 2, the current armor has a new design and better performance in durability and aerodynamics. The high-tech suit can be stored in a bracelet worn on Riri's wrist. When activated, the armor assembles itself around her in seconds. This compact and portable suit mirrors some of the same progress made by Tony Stark in his later suits, particularly the nanotech of the Mark L armor. Her faceplate can change its opacity, and the display offers a tactical analysis after the deep scanning of targets. For battle, the Model 3 has smaller repulsor beams in the extremities and a stronger unibeam on the chest. It also has micro-impact precision missiles that can be launched from the suit's forearms. Other gadgets include stunt grenades and ultrasonic emitters. Here's a fun fact. When creating the Model 3 suit, Riri was actually inspired by the plating of the Chitauri's armor. She met the Chitauri when Thanos destroyed the Model 2 suit. in Infinity Countdown. Champions number 2, July 2018. This influence highlights her resourcefulness, showing how she can turn defeat into opportunities. It also attests to her observation skills, as she has a keen eye to spot and make good design choices. If you've only known the MCU Riri Williams, there's a lot of other facts about Ironheart that you may still not know. For example, did you know she has an AI assistant modeled after her late childhood friend? When Riri was 13 years old, a tragic accident took place. She was having a picnic at a park with her family and her best friend Natalie when bullets from a drive-by shooting hit innocent bystanders, including Natalie and Riri's stepfather, as shown in Invincible Iron Man, Volume 4, Number 1. Years later, when Riri had already turned into Ironheart, she developed an AI assistant designed specifically for her by scanning her brainwaves and memories. The result was Natalie, the AI, took the holographic form and personality of what Riri's friend Natalie would have been as an older teenager. Natalie soon became much more than just the practical tool she had been initially created to be. She became a therapeutic presence, helping Riri to cope with her trauma while simultaneously working as her AI assistant. But beyond the origins of Natalie being connected to this childhood trauma, Riri has another secret that is actually much darker. She has a villainous potential. Around the same time she created Natalie, Riri had a conflict with the villain Clash. He was highly impressed with her and gave her a 10 Rings token after his defeat because he saw she had what it takes to join them in Ironheart number 1 to 3, November-December 2018 and January 2019. And this wasn't the only time her dark tendencies were in focus. During her adventures with the Champions, she once crossed paths with Blackheart in Champions Volume 3, Number 8 to Number 10. August, September, and October 2019. He's a powerful demon who's one of Mephisto's children. Blackheart was born when Mephisto noticed and nurtured the dark energy concentrated at a location in New York where murders have happened for centuries. Blackheart felt like his father Mephisto wasn't cruel enough to the Champions and went after them. He first targeted Ironheart, noticing an openness in her for darkness. In the end, Ironheart was freed from Blackheart, and the Champions defeated the demon together. Riri never became evil, always being able to shake off this weakness. These encounters with evil reveal that Riri's struggle is not just social, physical, mental, or technological. She has a deeply psychological wound, which is what makes her such a compelling character to read and now watch. That leads us to the upcoming Ironheart series and the trailer that Disney just dropped. Ironheart's live-action debut in the MCU actually already happened in the 2022 movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She became friends with Shuri and created the first Ironheart suit entirely from Wakandan technology. We can safely assume that some of that Wakandan vibranium is coming with Riri to the United States, so she can build a brand new Ironheart suit. The upcoming series will launch with a 3-episode premiere on June 24th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Disney+. It will be set in Chicago and explore the construction of Ironheart's next suit at MIT, or at least with the help of MIT at first. We'll get into that. In the MCU timeline, the show will be set in 2025. That is around the same time as the events of some other Disney Plus shows like Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. For some perspective, that is roughly 2 years before the events of the latest Marvel movies like Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts, which take place between late 2026 and mid-2027. The trailer gave us a lot of information about what will happen to Riri on this show. First of all, it seems like there is a message about the price of ambition, about not letting it corrupt you when it comes to applying an asset like genius intelligence. As you know now, this may be inspired by the early acknowledgement of her potential for villainy by the Clash in the comics. It's also a good angle for a young hero going from a teenager to a young adult, and someone learning how to navigate her newfound responsibilities as a hero. Playing opposite Dominique Thorne as Riri, Anthony Ramos will be the MCU's The Hood. In case you don't know, The Hood is Parker Robbins, a villain who was once only a petty criminal. He one day stole the cloak and boots from a demon and got superpowers. He can use his guns to shoot magical bullets that change directions as they fly. They can also harm and even kill opponents with superhuman abilities, magical beings or cosmic beings otherwise immune to bullet wounds. The only problem is that the hood itself corrupts the soul of whoever wears it, making them more and more demonic over time the longer they wear it. We can see in the trailer that the hood is the one who wants to hire or recruit Ironheart for some mission when he puts her through that elevator test. This means he could be the one who sees her villainous potential instead of Clash. Another important character in this exploration of Riri's darker tendencies is played by Manny Montana. Apparently that's John King, Parker Robbins' cousin and right hand, It looks like the Hood and John will be involved in crimes aimed at funding Riri's work, and they will help her steal MIT equipment like she did by herself in the comics before meeting Tony Stark. And speaking of Stark, it's clear the show will address his influence on Ironheart. Riri may not be directly mentored by him like in comics, but Stark has a huge legacy of funding scientific research and advancing technology in the country. We can see the MIT lab that Riri is working on in the trailer has his name on it, so a donation from him probably funded the building of that laboratory. Since Civil War, we've seen Tony Stark actively work with younger generations. Tony also left much of his research available for universities when he died, allowing Riri to access valuable information on his work. Yet, it seems like there will be some sense of urgency in finishing her new iron armor, and Riri won't want to deal with the limitations students face at MIT. She will likely then take extreme measures, maybe influenced by the Hood, and steal the resources she needs. She also seems to be going to the black market in search of pieces for her armor or other technology she needs and can't find legally. The character with the clandestine gear, played by Alden Ehrenreich, is apparently Ezekiel Stane, the son of Obadiah Stane. To quickly refresh your memory, Obadiah Stane, or Ironmonger, was the villain in Iron Man. Zeke Stane could be the next Ironmonger, and that could happen as early as the Ironheart series. She may fight both him and the Hood, but not all characters are bad. Natalie will also be introduced, played by Lyric Ross. Regan Aliyah is set to play Zelma Stanton. She's a character more associated with Doctor Strange in the comics, but her inclusion is not so random as it may seem at first. Zelma and Strange became stranded in Weird World, where she lived some of her coolest adventures. When Riri was in the Champions, they too once got stuck in Weird World. Weird World is introduced as a realm within Battle World during the Secret Wars event, so it all aligns with the current moment of the mutant saga. Weird World is a place full of magic that changes some of the nature of beings who enter it. Ironheart, for example, became Lady Ironheart in there. We don't think it will come up in the Ironheart series, but it could be featured in Avengers Secret Wars or afterwards. Fans expect to see Ironheart in Secret Wars as part of a superhero team, which could be the Young Avengers or the Champions. The latter is more likely. Since Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts came out, we know that Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes are disagreeing on the usage of the title of Avengers. Valentina may have publicly announced the new Avengers and made them official, but Captain America still has the rights over the team. In parallel, we know Kamala Khan has been slowly recruiting members for a team of young superheroes. So far, we've been speculating they were the Young Avengers. With the dispute over the brand, Ms. Marvel may prefer to rebrand to Champions. The first MCU Champions could include some Young Avengers. Team members could be Kamala Khan, Riri Williams, Kate Bishop, Billy Maximoff, and Miles Morales. That's Ms. Marvel, Ironheart, Hawkeye, Wiccan, and Spider-Man. Although Miles is not in the MCU yet, there is a chance he'll be introduced during or after the upcoming soft reboot. The team could be formed during Secret Wars, and Miles would be the only member who doesn't come from Earth 616. When it comes to Ironheart's abilities in the MCU moving forward, it's clear that her new armor is the best she has ever had. We have seen Riri with the gray armor and the new white armor on the trailer for Ironheart. It seems to align perfectly with her abilities with the suit in the comics, so we can expect an Ironheart that can do essentially anything Iron Man was able to do in his final years. The key difference between them is experience, since Riri is much younger than Tony was when he became a superhero. Another key difference is the access to resources. Riri has a social and financial reason for descending into a darker path, while Tony always had the safety of his fortune backing his endeavor as Iron Man. So we can expect a morally gray version of Iron Man, someone closer to being an anti-hero than a traditional hero.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So you in or out?
That was all you need to know about Riri Williams before the series premieres. Don't forget, Ironheart will launch with a 3-episode premiere around a month from now. It comes out on June 24th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, or 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Disney+.
Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
Now, we would love to hear your thoughts on Ironheart. What is your favorite thing about the character? What are your expectations for her first solo project in the MCU? What about her future? Should she join a superhero team? Let's discuss in the comments below, and remember to subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.